Generally goes in from right to left as you're looking out on the field here at Fitzgerald Stadium, but it's heading in the opposite direction in this opening period at least. Kerry playing their first provincial quarter-final since 2013 after their long winning run in Munster was ended by Cork last season. Away we go, the side that many believe to be closest to Dublin and a threat to their dominance in recent years, taking on Clare, who have not beaten Kerry since 1992, and it's taken Kerry just 12 seconds to open the scoring. It's a lovely strike, and already Kerry looking to be regaining their Munster title, are up and running to their centre forward, Sean O'Shea.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Diarmuid O'Connor play at midfield championship, and he won that ball, towering over a big jump, knocked it down to Sean O'Shea, and Sean O'Shea with the confidence to go on the right side, and we know how accurate he is, but good start from O'Connor.
Here come Kerry again. Mike Breen, his first touch in senior championship football, being chased down by Cathal O'Connor. He left his mark on him, but it's been regained by Kerry and Paddy Clifford, the older brother of the captain David. He came off the bench against Cork last year, but this time he's in from the start. Impressing so East Kerry in the Kerry County Championship over the last couple of seasons as they recorded back-to-back title wins. Here's Tom O'Sullivan.
Tom O'Sullivan from Dingle.
Gets it back from Gavin Crowley. Crowley was just a bit crowded out there. Finds Breen Buglik, who's kept Tide Morley out of the starting 15 tonight. Here's Breen again. They're yet to venture into the Kerry half of the field.
Opening 35 minutes.
David Moore.
Clare with everybody back behind the ball. Kerry will look for a way through Gavin White.
Getting forward is Jason Foley from full-back.
Moran and the attack, that one nicely blocked.
Ball in from Moran was blocked off by Darragh Bohannon from Shannon Gales, one of four players over 6'3" in this Clare starting 15. They have a huge number of big men, one of which is Cathal O'Connor on the ball now. Now the senior midfield partner in this Clare team after the retirement of Gary Brennan. It's a careless pass from him though, and his opposite number is Diarmuid O'Connor.
Now then, a chance for Kerry
given
to
off
break
to
through
Clifford. And now Stephen O'Brien.
Gets it out as far as Stephen O'Brien.
Early ball inside. Sean O'Shea again.
Got the game's opening score up
onto his left foot, trying to bend it. That's a lovely strike, and how well has he started this game?
Yeah, well, it was a careless pass around the middle of the field. Clare cannot afford to do that. They work the ball out of defence well, but then it's just a loose pass to a player who was marked tightly, and Kerry then punishes them. But Sean O'Shea, lovely left foot. Looked to me, it just went maybe over the post, but the umpire was in the best position.
It was against Clare that he made his championship debut 3 years ago. Sean O'Shea. Here's Cathal O'Connor. Takes a bit more care of the ball this time.
Nearly played 3 minutes.
Wing back for Clare today, Cian O'Dea from Kilfenora.
Crossfield ball.
His brother Jack has also spent time on the Clare panel. This is Kieran Russell.
Kieran Russell. Russell again with good pressure.
Options for Pierce Lillis. Back they come, and inside for O'Dea again.
Changing the angle of attack.
Sean Collins.
This near sideline. Sean Collins. Again, not
O'Dea
too many options
They
inside.
could do with a settling score, but they need to punch a hole in this Kerry defence. Picked up by Conor Jordan, the Kerry native.
He's being pushed
Plays
back
his club football in Tralee with Austin Stacks.
Not able to find any gaps in
His
that Kerry
championship
defence.
debut for Clare tonight.
There's Podge Collins.
Burst of acceleration through the first tackle from Podge Collins.
That one out towards the wing now, following
And a chance
the
for Clare here through Kieran Russell.
The
ball across is intercepted by Kieran Fitzgibbon in the Kerry goal.
His first touch in championship.
It was just poor execution in the end. A really good move, a slow build-up, but that allowed Darren O'Neill to drop in into the full forward line, and the aim was, I think, to walk the ball down the right-hand side and then pop a high ball across. He has aerial advantage over Diarmuid O'Connor. I think he's 6'7". We worked it out, I think, before the game, Dave. So he has a few inches on Diarmuid O'Connor, so that was a missed opportunity there.
Just a little shove in the back there from
This was the free that was won by Sean O'Shea. This was the Clare opportunity again, Paul. Just a poor strike in the end.
Kieran Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, just needed to get a bit more elevation on it, and if he popped it up in the air, there was a chance. We saw Darren O'Neill against Mayo winning the ball over Aidan O'Shea, that crossfield ball from David Tubridy. So he can be very effective in there.
3 years ago, looking for his third point
play
of the
already.
match.
Sean O'Shea, that's right over the black spot.
No mistake, and his eye really is in this evening.
Come to play, and he has wasted absolutely no time in hurting Clare. Kerry lead by 3, and the ball come from him.
Yeah, and already when Kerry are attacking, they're stretching the Clare defence. They have a couple of wing forwards who are pulling out very wide, close to the sideline.
They've never won here in the championship, Clare. This is the 7th time they've met at Fitzgerald Stadium. Kerry have won all previous 6.
By David Moran.
The best Clare have ever managed away to Kerry in the championship was a draw in 1950. That was in Listowel.
Stephen O'Brien.
Clifford just takes an extra couple of touches. Tries to feed one inside to Sean O'Shea, who has started as the furthest advance in this Kerry forward line. Lovely skill and close control from him again. Picked up again by the man wearing 11, playing as a 14 at the moment. Here's Dermot O'Connor. Helped on by Gavin White. It looked like it was thrown back towards Gavin White. Referee happy to allow play continue. Mike Breen now. Stephen O'Brien was in space on the right hand side, but Breen of Buglia couldn't quite get the ball released, and Clare have survived this Kerry attack at least.
Good defence there. Peter Canavan showed before the game a couple of clips on the Clare kick-out. You know, when they can't go short, if the goalkeeper puts up the hand to go right, it puts up the right hand, it'll go out long left. And on that last kick-out, it went out long left. It was caught by David Moran on his own. So Kerry obviously looked at the games very, very closely, as you'd expect they would, the last couple of games, and Clare will just have to be very careful. I know it's one of the things that Colm Collins has mentioned over the last number of weeks. He's been very happy with their effectiveness on their kick-out, on their tackle count, on their efficiency in front of goal. They'll have to get all of those 3 spot on today if they're going to be in with a shout.
Confirmation a moment ago with that yellow card shown to David Clifford, but the ball has been given away very carelessly again by Clare.
O'Brien under a bit of pressure,
Have been the authors of their own demise in this opening few minutes. Here's O'Shea again. So he cannot miss at the moment. 4 from 4 for him. And every time Clare give him an opportunity, he punishes them.
Oh, what a score, a fantastic score. His movement, first of all, is very impressive, but also his skills on the ball and his ability to find that little bit of space. It gives him the time then to shoot under less pressure.
Kick that straight down the throat of David Moran. He wastes no time in finding a bit of space for Stephen O'Brien. David Clifford. He was pushed as he tried to toe that ball up to himself. A little nudge in the back coming from Podge Collins.
Yeah, they just have to sort their kick out now. That's 3 kick-outs, I think, in the last 4 that they have lost. And it puts them under massive pressure when Kerry can win the ball cleanly around the middle of the field. They're immediately playing front foot football. Clare haven't got their defensive structure in place, and
Clifford looking for his first
got
score
2 scores
of the
out of the 3 wins in the middle of the field.
Kittle bends this one beautifully over the crossbar.
David Clifford, it looked a soft free that he won there. Uncharacteristically poor attempt at a solo from David Clifford. But he's up and running in this year's championship. Back captaining Kerry as he did last year, but just for that one fateful night in Cork.
Short kick out
Paul
again.
Murphy, who is the senior county captain this time, 2021, is on the bench tonight.
Here's
Kieran Russell. They're still seeking the first score.
Big man Darren O'Neill, but Clare have won.
And whatever about the opportunities that Kerry have been given by Clare, Paul, they've had 5 chances, they've taken all 5. You can't certainly question their economy.
No, but look, they're in brilliant form at the moment. You know, they're the highest scorers obviously in the National League. Their efficiency in front of goal, their effectiveness has been outstanding. You know, the forward line at the moment is in outstanding form, and you know, they've brought that league form straight into the first 8 minutes of this game. The movement up front is really impressive, and we're scoring at will.
Mike Breen back for Paddy Clifford, who's very deep at the moment. That's Gavin Crowley. A lot of onus on the shoulders of Gavin Crowley this season. Kerry have lost.
He does spend most of his time out
Shane Enright and Jonathan Lyne to retirement over the last few months.
That's better defending from Clare, and they've won back possession there.
Here is the Clare goalkeeper, Stephen Ryan.
Yeah, and interesting enough, Dave, when they win the ball out around the middle of the field, they're always keeping one player inside the 13-metre line, one Kerry forward, so that it's just dragging a couple of defenders back. It's leaving that little pocket of space between the 13-metre line maybe and the 45, and they're allowing the players just to kick those lovely passes, bounce passes in front of the forwards that Kerry are so effective at.
The referee will bring that ball
was
forward.
fouled by Killian Brennan as he brought that ball out of the Clare defence. Just can't quite get anything right at the moment.
Get this one back, will he not? No.
And a call over his shoulder from Diarmuid O'Connor. That good running style of his. He's made inroads. Popped it off to Tom O'Sullivan.
And he strikes this one.
Kerry have kicked their first wide of the evening.
First wide of the match from Kerry coming.
Yeah, one of the challenges Clare are going to have, as I mentioned at the start, they beat Kildare away. That was the highlight of their league campaign. Only conceded 13 points to Kildare, had a fantastic second half performance, but the Kildare pitch is very narrow, Dave, and Clare defensively were able to maybe condense the space because of that and limit Kildare's goal opportunities. This pitch is a lot wider, so it's harder to close down that space inside and harder to stay connected as a defence, and you can see Kerry are able to find those little pockets of space when they run through or when they pop the ball in, which on a tighter pitch, maybe a little bit like a Newbridge pitch, they mightn't be able to find as easily.
It's Conor Jordan that has just taken a knock. His dad George also played for the Banner County. Conor Jordan, he won a Munster minor medal with Kerry 8 years ago.
Up on the kick out there.
Debut at senior level for Clare tonight. Clare finally managed to win a kick out, although not cleanly.
Of their own. Sean Collins
a little bit of space for the forward line, and David Tubridy, who's
to get this ball into the
been a
forward line
spectator in this game to this point.
First score of the game.
Here's the captain, Owen Cleary. Finally, Tubridy's on the ball. Now 34 years of age, the record score in the history of the National Football League.
All the way back to Sean Collins.
What a legacy that is to leave behind if or when he does finally step away.
O'Connor takes that shoulder well, but he
took a little bit of a blow to the back there, and he's really feeling it. He's in a lot of trouble.
O'Connor still down on the ground, and Sean Collins now being put under pressure.
The referee is going to want to get some treatment for O'Connor as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think when he won the ball, as he turned, he was hit very hard by Gavin White. Fairly, it looked to me, but a bit of a hip injury, and that can be really sore here. As he just
here as he turned.
Yeah, he
just a little challenge
just
there
when he received
Gavin
the ball,
White.
he turned very quickly. You can see it there, hip to hip contact. Actually, it wasn't Gavin White. It was Jason Foley, in fact.
And he watched Gary
Colin
Brennan,
Collins, the longest serving manager in
sail
football,
off into the retirement sunset after last year's championship. He could not afford to lose Cathal O'Connor now, Colin Collins.
Clare
Thankfully he's back up and running, still nursing that right hip though.
They're just finding it very hard
to one by David Tubridy.
Get a foothold in the game. A foul.
He's dropped a bit deeper in a bit to try and get himself involved in this game.
Into the breeze,
looks short towards Pratlow's Sean Collins.
Find Sean Collins.
At one point was hurling and playing football
Here's
for the Clare seniors.
Tubridy.
Trying to get around his marker, Tom O'Sullivan.
But under pressure. Three Kerry players
between them and H. Teasing ball in, and what a chance that was! It's been put wide off the fist of Gavin Cooney, who will feel he should have hit the back of the net and dragged Clare back into this first half.
Oh yeah, it was a super ball inside, and there were two players inside again. Darren O'Neill was in there, lurking at the back post, but maybe could have caught it. Gavin Cooney on that occasion maybe could have caught it and just a quick kick into the goal, but it was a great chance. It would have been one that would have got Clare back into the game if they'd executed well.
That one well.
That's Kerry's second wide. Let's have another look at this goal opportunity. It was well crafted by David Tubridy. A very clever ball in. Gavin Cooney, who scored 1-1 in that league playoff against Mayo. Yeah, didn't quite know where the posts were.
Yeah, and to be fair, Jason Foley got back very, very quickly. He put him under pressure, and I think maybe his contact just as the ball was about to hit Gavin Cooney might have just put him off a little bit and forced the ball to go wide.
Might have been the jolt that would kickstart Clare's challenge.
Into the danger man.
Here again.
Is the captain,
It's Owen Cleary. It's Owen Cleary.
Score if he gets a chance. Owen Cleary.
That pulled that off his right boot. Video of him kicking a sideline over the crossbar went viral during the Alliance Football League. He's an incredibly talented attacker, but he couldn't find the target there.
Yeah, and good Kerry defence again, putting Owen Cleary onto his right foot. He is brilliant off his left foot. He has kicked some magnificent scores throughout the league campaign from way out the field on his left foot. But obviously this Kerry team has got a lot of criticism. The defence has got a lot of criticism. I have to say in the first last 5 or 6 minutes when Clare have had some ball, the marking has been very tight in defence. They're working together as a unit. There's very little space that the Clare forwards can get. So good defensive display so far.
Conor O'Connor, sadly for Clare, has been unable to shake off that knock. So he is making way, and coming in is Emmett McMahon, who made his debut against Tip last year. He was part of the Clare minor side, beaten in the Munster final 3 years ago. He comes in to see what sort of an impact he can make, and he's onto the ball immediately. Here's Podge Collins. A little bit of traction in the game for Clare in the last 5 minutes or so. Certainly seeing a lot more of the ball.
Clare,
they haven't managed to get the scoreboard ticking in their favour as yet.
The last 5 minutes,
done
a
by
lot more than
Hannafin.
they did in the opening.
He's on the ball again here.
10 minutes of the game, but under pressure this time. Picked up now here by Killian Brennan, and he has been
Killian
fouled
Brennan,
there by
who's fouled.
Darragh Moynihan and Paul Gainey between them.
And now it's Sean Collins.
Sean Collins. Again, that was a strong
Belt
challenge
from
there
Stephen
on
O'Brien.
and he really
Referee just coming across for a quick word. Not sure if he's going to go to his pocket.
And maybe the game's opening card
He is in
coming
the
here
end.
as
Yeah,
well.
I think it was
Stephen O'Brien,
fist across the chest.
It was just a shoulder, but
the groin up here.
O'Brien will get
so
the
yellow. I
game's
think
first
that's
yellow.
fair. Yeah.
I think it was Conor O'Hannafin. His dad is a Kerry man. He wore the brunt of that.
Yeah, you can see the fist there straight in the solar plexus, so definite yellow.
And that was a yellow card all day long.
O'Brien, who was actually left out of the starting 15 for that visit to Cork in last season's Munster semi-final. Conor O'Hannafin is back on his feet. Won a Sigerson Cup medal with UCC a couple of years ago.
Tubridy, the short free, he'll get
given back
possession
to David Tubridy. There's
like
Conor Jordan, early ball sent in.
That ball inside now.
They're playing with a little more belief here. Podge Collins.
Here's Podge Collins. Eventually
vicious effort from way out the field. Is that curled in off the left enough? The two umpires not quite sure. They had a little bit of a conversation. And Emmett McMahon has come off the bench to kick Clare's opening score.
Yeah, brilliant score. Left foot. Got a bit of a deflection, but over the bar. Super score. First touch. And Clare have held possession well in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Got the ball through hands quite a bit. Got more players involved in the game, and that's positive.
As they do go into the water break, Kerry have not scored in the last 8 minutes after a really blistering opening few in which Sean O'Shea was the star of the show, kicking Kerry's opening 4 scores. David Clifford with a free, put 5 between them, but signs that Clare are coming back into this first half. Let's get the lads in studio's thoughts on what we've seen so far.
Thanks very much, Dave. Unbelievable start by Kerry, I suppose. You know, the 4 points they kicked, particularly Sean O'Shea, was, you know, absolute quality written all over them off both feet, and really should have settled Kerry into the game. Then you would have expected them to push on a bit better. Haven't been overly impressed by the last 8 or 9 minutes, and they'll be looking to really improve, and I'd say that's what will be talked about down there now. They're working really hard as a unit defensively. They're doing very well on the crossovers when the Clare boys are crossing over. They're switching men defensively, so they're being very solid, and then making it hard for them down here. But Clare a bit nervous as well, Jim.
Yeah, a couple of unforced errors, you know, early in the game, but you know, there's always going to be that pent-up anger from a Kerry point of view early in the game, and bringing a lot to the game, and Clare just have to ride out that storm, and if they can get, you know, 1 or 2 more scores on the board, hopefully can stay competitive into the half-time break.
And the press that Kerry have put on as well, and the Clare kick-out has him in trouble, and has him really struggling to get kick-outs out. I think David Moran has caught a few in the middle of the field, but, you know, uncontested most of them, because the Clare keepers resorting to lashing it long.
Kerry look clean and they look crisp, and they're putting a lot of tackles on. They're putting a lot of hard tackles on, so it's going to be interesting. Can they keep that level up?
Yes, thanks to Kieran and to Jim. Well, Kerry were pretty much error-free for the opening 7 or 8 minutes. And perhaps signs Clare, and I've got a lot of encouragement from the last few minutes. Another change made by Clare. Killian Ruane has come in from Ennistyne, replacing Conor O'Hannafin. So both players who picked up a knock before that water break have unfortunately had to leave the field for Clare. 2 of their substitutions already enforced upon them. Here is Podge Collins. He's wearing 17 but did start the game.
David Tubridy.
Here is Tubridy. Certainly bring
Gaining a foothold in the game.
And agility, Killian Ruane into this Clare 15.
Tubridy.
They can get him on the ball.
Long cross.
Force it goes to Cian O'Dea.
Towards Cian O'Dea.
He's playing his
Took his eye off it for a second, but has it back again.
20th championship match tonight, and despite his experience, it's a really bad giveaway. Picked up by Paudie Clifford, chasing him down as Ruane.
Paul Gainey outside him.
On the shoulder of Clifford was Gainey.
Gainey off his left
And to
foot,
his left foot,
strikes
Paul
this one.
Gainey puts that one over the
Beautifully
bar.
between the
Another
posts,
Kerry
and
score
that
pole
all
directly off a
because
Clare
of a
error.
mistake
Yeah, and great
by
teams
Cian
punish
O'Dea.
errors out the field like that. Clare did exceptionally well to win the Kerry kick out. They contested with David Moore in the middle of the field, won the kick out, popped a pass across. David Tubridy kicked a lovely pass across to Cian O'Dea, but Cian O'Dea came back towards David Tubridy, where the traffic was, and then tried to pass the ball above a Kerry player. Good interception, and resulted in a score. Got to be clever with the ball when they have it.
Pierce
Clare
Lillis.
respond. Pierce Lillis.
Down by Gavin White.
Again, the hand pass wasn't great, but
was
they
a
made
nothing
with
ball
possession
really that was
back
played
all
in, and
around,
they
and
almost
picked up
made
by
something of
Stephen
it, but
O'Brien.
their
He's very good at that
quality of their
dirty
passing
work.
really has
Good
let
pass
them
out
down
to
so
Sean
far in
O'Shea.
this game.
It's been quiet for the last
Here's
few minutes,
Clifford.
but start to the game and a
to
breathtaking
direct
pace.
these Kerry
4
attacks from
points.
well out
Here's
the field.
Paudie Clifford.
Back inside it goes to Darragh Moynihan. Plays his good football just outside Killarney here with
As
Spa.
far as Gavin Crowley.
Picked up by Gavin Crowley.
Looking inside for some movement, just happy to give it to
Diarmuid O'Connor
for
for Breed.
Mike Breed. Now the foot pass and inside the 45-metre line means
instance
the
of the mark
can be
that we've
taken
seen in
by
this first half.
Kerry captain David
David
Clifford.
Clifford taking that ball just inside the 45. So much chatter in around the
We'll
rule
talk about
changes
the
that have been made
offensive mark.
by the GAA. Heading into this year's
Be
championship,
interesting
it's a
if it
long way
survives.
out. But if
Here's
anyone on the field that send this one
Clifford.
over, it's David
1
Clifford.
point to his name already.
He
That
dropped
one
short into the
easily
hands of the
into
Clare
arms of
goalkeeper Stephen Ryan,
Stephen Ryan.
the successor
Gets
to
a good
Joe
clearance
Hayes between
out
the
to
sticks
Pierce Lillis.
for the Clare senior
Turned away
footballers.
from Darragh Moynihan.
Picked up here by
Better
Conor
for
Jordan.
Clare is Conor Jordan now.
Now
gives
Kieran
it to
Russell.
Kieran Russell, and in support is the substitute.
Committing numbers to this
Killian
attack.
Ruane.
Russell
This is
wants
good
to
for Clare coming forward at pace
maintain
here.
his presence in this
Russell
attack.
hit
Took the
hard
shoulder
by
from Gavin White, and he
It's a fair
certainly
shoulder.
felt it.
Now then, here's the captain,
Collected by
Owen
Clary.
But look at the pressure
Clare
from the
certainly kept him
Kerry
quiet
men.
so far.
Not giving Clare an inch.
Out it goes to Conor Jordan.
Jordan.
Little ball
Long
over the
ball
top.
inside, but it's not a
He
great
needed a
pass,
little
but
more
then
elevation on it if he was to
easily
pick out
gathered
Darren
inside
O'Neill.
by
They haven't
Breed
tried that
O'Donnell
ball as
as
yet,
far
Paul, leaving
Stephen
Darren O'Neill in
O'Brien.
and around the square.
Well, there's a couple of balls that they
Quarter
have
of an
kicked
hour
in.
to
Obviously, in the first
half-time.
couple of minutes, they dropped one
Kerry
short.
leading
They
by
need to
6
just hang
points
it in
to
the
1.
air. Kieran Donaghy will remember those ones. He
space now
talks
here
about
for
the ones that
Tom
just hang in
O'Sullivan.
the air, give the forward the chance to set himself
Still O'Sullivan.
and set his position, get his body shape,
Moynihan.
body into the right
Out
position.
as far
And
as Clifford trying to get onto his
Clare
left
just
foot or onto the right.
the way
It
they're
doesn't
kicking
really
the
matter
ball,
with
it's just
David
dropping a
Clifford,
little bit
and
short.
that ball has gone
And we can
over
see
the
what
bar.
happened there
And
from the
that's his
transition
first
then,
score
right up the field to
from
David
play.
Clifford,
He is
who
so
hits
dangerous
it over with his right foot.
either
That's
foot.
the biggest issue with trying to defend against David Clifford. He's so able off both feet. You've no idea what way to turn him. He picked it up on his left, turned his body to his right, over it goes. It's his first from play. This down on top of Darren O'Neill, and it's a clean bit of primary possession for him and Clare.
He's a big man.
Here is
He did
Tubridy.
well. Tubridy. Lots of
There's
space,
space
over
down the right hand side of this
far
Clare
side
attack.
for
Picked up by Owen Cleary onto his left foot.
and
And
that's a
Cleary
beautiful
finds
score
the
by the
spot he
Clare
was looking for,
captain,
and he gets his
Owen
first of
Cleary.
this first half.
Well, that's the first bit of link-up play between David Clifford and
points
Owen
behind after
Cleary, and
second
they've worked
point.
very well with each other during the league campaign.
Set
But a
up
great
by
catch in the
David
middle of the
Tubridy.
field.
Only one
A
thing on
contest,
his mind.
long
He's
kick out, a
walking
good
over
contest, great catch by Darren O'Neill. But David Tubridy is winning a lot of ball outside the 45-metre line on kind of the left-hand side. And with the quality of his kicking, he will bring other Clare forwards into the game. And that's a good tactic by Colin Collins to just bring him out and get him on the ball as much as possible out closer to midfield.
Cleary the beneficiary of that strategy there. Captaining Clare for the second
Tom
season.
O'Sullivan.
A successor to Gary Brennan in that regard. Big shoes to fill in every sense. What a player Brennan
Gavin
was for
White.
so long for Clare.
David Moran.
A couple of years ago, Dave, Clare used to play a sweeper. They dispensed with that last year and this year in the league
Lovely
campaign,
turn
but
by Darragh
on a slow
Moynihan.
build-up like Kerry are doing at the moment, they are dropping an extra player back.
Into Clifford.
Clifford misfiring off his left side on this
wide
occasion. That's
from
Kerry's
his
third wide.
Very high standards.
And the lead
Kerry's
remains
third
at
wide.
5. But it was a rip-roaring start from Kerry, Paul, and Clare have just managed to keep a hold on them. They haven't been blown away as yet. That's an awful kick out though from Stephen Ryan, and it's a part of the game that has killed Clare in this first half. Clifford trying to put one over. This time around, he does exactly what he was seeking to do.
They're doing a lot of really good stuff, Clare, but then, you know, they give it away by poor kickouts like that. You know, if you go short, you've got to find your man, and you certainly don't want to find David Clifford in the form that he's in. And that's just a disappointing thing. I think that Colin Collins will be, you know, unhappy about. Just the kickouts are killing them at times.
There are several scores in this tally of 8 for Kerry that the hosts haven't really had to work too hard for.
Gets this one out as far as his captain,
Owen Cleary once more.
Trying to get away from Paul Gainey, and that's a good turn of pace from Cleary.
He was up against Paul Gainey there, he's not sure of the yard himself.
He started this attack.
Collins calls for it and gets it.
In support. Good jink one way
the other. Runner at the ball, but he's taken that into Kerry traffic and he's over-carried it.
The ball, and it's a free out to Kerry.
Yeah, and again, just another example of great Kerry defence. Yeah, they're on their toes, they're tenacious, very pacey, working hard to strip the ball off the player. Here you can see it again, really good play. Once Podge Collins turned, there was another Kerry player there to pick the ball off him.
Clare have it back though, Tubridy.
Clare have it back though. Here's
to Lillis.
Pierce Lillis.
Cleary
now
Tubridy again.
Run of Tubridy.
Breaks a couple of tackles onto his left foot, David Tubridy.
And he fires
I think he was rather fatigued by the time he actually got to pull the trigger, having had to carry it so far. Clare's third wide.
Yeah, but another positive again, it was Owen Cleary that gave him the pass, so the two of them are beginning to work well together. They account for, I think, 60%. The two of them accounted for, I think, about 60% of the Clare scores during the league campaign. So they're crucial players in that forward line.
Space in front of him. Now looking for support.
Goes to Paudie Clifford.
Paudie Clifford.
For Sean O'Shea.
Ball inside to Sean O'Shea.
Mark
Onto his right hand
trying
side,
to close him down.
Fires this one.
For once, Sean O'Shea has missed the target.
Another poor wide. And Kerry, 4 in total.
He's still so young, Sean O'Shea, just 22 years of age, the man from Kenmare, but he plays like a man with years of experience under his belt. And a yellow card for David Moran.
Yellow card now for David Moran.
Some confirmation of that caution. I didn't quite see what it was for. Again, Clare goes short.
Kick out. Clare have gone short to Ruine.
It goes to Stephen O'Ryan.
Back with their goalkeeper.
Stephen Ryan, rather.
Stephen Ryan.
He takes it upon himself to bring it through. Pops it off to Sean Collins. Now this is Cian O'Dea.
Bit of space now for Kieran Russell.
Kieran Russell ahead of him.
Happy to pass it backwards.
Ponderous build-up from Clare.
As Sean Collins, and Kerry happy to concede possession. And now they'll put a bit of pressure on maybe.
Again. Now with Conor Jordan. He's playing some very good football this year after overcoming a cruciate knee ligament injury.
Slow, ponderous.
The difference when Kerry have the ball and they're playing a slow game is that they're always passing to a player who's moving on to the ball.
They do trail
Clare
by
occasionally
6 points.
in the build-ups are passing to players who are static.
10 minutes to the break.
And when they win it, then Kerry are able to close them down
Pierce
very, very
Lillis,
quickly.
Sean O'Shea
Put them under pressure. This is better now, this movement.
Again, the pressure
They have left 3 men inside Clare. It's just a question of finding the channel through which they can work the ball into them. Kerry are closing that channel down at the moment.
Kerry
this was the
sure
foul on Collins.
The can't make that much
First
headway.
Gainey. And then Darragh Moynihan. That's a clever ball for Cleary though. Trying to get back to him is Gavin Crowley.
Scored a nice point from play
Just
a few
took
minutes
a
ago.
little step,
And
looked at the
Cleary
post
strikes this one
and curled that one over.
And that really
His second Clare third of the evening.
A sensational score.
And now there's only
He had
5
to
between them.
get the ball up very quickly, get the elevation up very quickly. There were 2 Kerry defenders about to close him down there.
On the right-hand side.
Great score by Owen Cleary.
Struck a lovely
Fantastic.
point.
Great boost for confidence for the Clare team.
And after 9 minutes, Kerry led by 5. 16 or 17 minutes later, that lead is still 5. Here's Tubridy.
For David Tubridy.
Spotted the run immediately of Cleary. The 2 players now starting to operate in tandem a bit more. The angle is tight here. Not tight enough to stop Cleary putting it over the bar though. For the first time in this opening half, Clare kicked 2 in a row.
Clare scored 2 points in a row.
With the terrible twins in Galway years ago, it was Donaghy and Gooch as well. But we have Tubridy and Cleary here. They're working really, really well together. And super score, another super score.
Putting it up to Kerry at the
Scored
moment.
his 99th, 100th and 101st points in Championship football for Clare this evening. And it's double scores here at Fitzgerald Stadium. At the moment, Kerry not quite having it all their own way. Sun has dipped in behind the clouds here in Killarney. And you can feel the temperatures dropped a couple of degrees, which maybe won't harm Clare.
Onto his left foot, and
It's a lovely bit of play though from Paddy Clifford. It just drifted across the face of goal. And it's a fifth wide of this opening half for Kerry.
For scoreable positions.
Well picked up by Kieran Russell, who was under considerable amount of pressure there.
Killian Rowine.
Killian Rowine now looking to stretch his legs.
From the substitute, getting away from
Illustration of
Gavin
that blistering
White.
pace that he does possess, but
not the best.
he got rid of it a bit too quickly.
There from Pierce Lillis, and Gavin White comes in. Will be brought
There's a bit of
forward.
bite in this game now, really for the first time. David Clifford out in front of Killian Brennan.
Up the ante a little here.
Gainey, 13 years of age, 8 years on from his debut against Cavan in that All-Ireland quarter-final at Croke Park. Now Russell
in the meantime.
He left it. Breen
All the way
O'Douglas coming in,
as far as Mike Breen.
bringing Mike Breen into the game.
Tom O'Sullivan.
Moran.
Again.
Again. It's opened up for the cornerback.
Bruno Bigley well able to do it.
Looking for a shooter, and he found
Clifford
one in the guise of Paddy Clifford.
And that is his first score for Kerry in the
Paddy
championship.
Clifford gets his first
And they
score of the
lead by
game
5.
and his first point in senior championship football.
Bruno
Very good
Bigley,
left-footed
the creator,
point. He just
and finished by Paddy
feinted to
Clifford.
go one way and then cut back. But what Clare are doing really well is they're not giving Kerry any goal opportunities. They're protecting the goal at all costs. The last time they were here in Killarney, Kerry had scored 2 goals, I think, in 4 or 5 minutes, and the game was gone. They haven't created a goal opportunity, and a lot of that is due to the structure of the Clare defence.
No choice but to go long, which gives the Kerry midfielders a chance to compete, and they have competed
Ball was
well.
tipped on by Gainey, intelligently so, into the path of Gavin White.
Inside as far as David Clifford, but he is well marshalled there by Killian
Battling
Brennan.
with
That ball will
Kieran
go
Russell,
for a 45.
and that will be a
though.
45. Breeze, albeit it does look like it's dropped a little, is still with Kerry in this first half, so this should be kickable for a player of the calibre of Sean O'Shea when it comes to place kicking, although he's right over by the sideline. This is as tough as it gets.
Well, it's on the 45-metre line, but I'd say you're probably talking about 60 metres from where he is. But we know how accurate he is, and the strength in that leg, that right leg.
Kicked 153 in Kerry's run to the All-Ireland final in 2019.
Sean O'Shea goes short
Taking
here.
Dublin to a replay.
Try and score. He's 45 metres, well, on the
This would be
45-metre
an
line, but
outrageous
he's about
score
60
if he had
metres
the
out.
distance, but
And it's a poor
even
effort
beyond
in the end.
his
Maybe he should have gone
considerable
short.
range.
Poor
Just gone off the
45
boil a
from
little
Sean
as
O'Shea.
we break through the half-hour mark. Kerry not having Clare succumb to them as they did, and certainly in the opening 10 minutes or so. A little bit for Peter Keane to ponder
Kerry,
as they go down the middle, Clare.
and that's a better kick out that time.
Well taken by
As far as
Owen Cleary.
Owen Cleary,
Really
who's
has
had a
come
very
into
good
this
first
game.
half with the
There's
Bannermen.
Collins.
Sean Collins now. They'd look to
His
get a
brother
couple of
Podge an
scores
option
before
ahead
the
of
break.
him.
To his brother Podge.
Going with Podge Collins is Tom
Podge
O'Sullivan.
Collins.
Here's
Sure they
Sean.
keep possession. Here's Sean again.
Clare a little more intent on keeping the ball for
Kerry
the moment.
bring
Kieran Russell.
everybody back behind the ball.
And Killian
Clare
Brennan
will
across
just
to
build
Russell,
from the
who
back.
just made himself available
Kieran
for
Russell.
it. Pierce Lillis.
There's Lillis.
They won't be making much progress, Clare, but while they have it, Kerry can't hurt them.
Yeah, and I think this is sensible
Ian
play from
O'Day.
Clare as well. They're just getting a little breather by holding the ball back
Sean
around the middle of the
Collins.
field, just getting a little
They're happy
breather.
to take the sting out of the
allowing
game.
the forwards maybe, or the
They do trail
midfielders,
by
just to take a
5
little bit of a
points.
rest, and then when they go forward,
Giving up
then
any goal chances to
they might
Kerry
have
in
a bit
this
more pace in
first
the forward
half.
line, a bit more movement.
McMahon. Here's for Killian
Killian
Rowine.
Rowine. Back as far as Killian
Back in
Brennan.
the hands of their goalkeeper, Stephen Ryan.
Back to the goalkeeper, Stephen Ryan. Maybe Not the prettiest to watch, but it's effective for Clare at the moment. Although
beaten by a David Clifford
not going to
inspired
win the
Kerry
game unless they get some more scores.
in the Munster final 4 years ago, the goalkeeper.
Gets this one across to Russell.
To inject a bit more into this attack now. Lillis taken on by McMahon.
He's found a little bit of space. McMahon. Nice little turn by Rowan, but then he's been bottled up by
turned into a tackle. Referee rather hampering Clare's chances of picking that ball up through Darragh Bohannon.
And they've driven it downfield straight away. Now this is where they are dangerous. This one across as far as Clifford, but his eyes weren't on the ball. He wasn't expecting the pass, and Clare have won it back.
Here is Sean Collins.
Sean Collins has seen a huge amount of ball in this opening half. Darren O'Neill
still have the ball in the hands of Conor Jordan.
Again, that's a poor pass, and
for the first time this evening, Clare giving the ball straight to a Kerry man. It's led to a goal opportunity for Sean O'Shea. And again, every little error made by Clare, Kerry have been ruthless in exposing. And having carried the ball, Paul, for the guts of 2 or 3 minutes, that is a sucker punch for Clare.
It's an unforced hand pass, a lazy, loose hand pass, trying to go over the head of a player. You know, you just cannot do that against the quality of a team like Kerry. And Sean O'Shea just held back. There was always one Kerry forward. Anytime Clare were moving forward, there was always one Kerry forward hanging back, just in case that eventuality happened. But you know, it's a sickener for Clare. A really good finish by Sean O'Shea. Kept it low. Very difficult for the goalkeeper. But you know, Clare architects of their own downfall really at times in this first half, and in particular with that sucker punch.
That's Killian Brennan getting a little bit of treatment. Brother of Gary Brennan, and indeed Shane Brennan, who also served the county with distinction. Well, they dragged themselves back into this first half, Clare. But they will be really disappointed by the several scores they'll feel they've gifted to their opponents tonight. Much to ponder for Colin Collins. They go long from Stephen Ryan.
Ryan going long again.
And really well taken.
Well
the wing forward, Darragh Bohannon.
Clare really
looked ahead, it didn't really see an option, so they'll have to work it short.
Kerry. Here's Lillis.
The additional 3 minutes at the end of the 35.
They have Darren Bohannon, who's 6'5". They have Darren O'Neill, who's 6'7" in the middle of the field. And anytime they've hung the ball up in the air to a contest, they've won it. So, you know, maybe that's a tactic that they should persist with in the second half.
Sean Collins to OD, back to Sean Collins and into Podge, trying to get onto his left-hand side, and that's a well-worth score by Clare, finished by Podge Collins.
On that Sean O'Shea goal.
And they have scored a point
really good score.
in the first half.
Important score as well, but Darren O'Neill, or the president was Darragh Bohannon, caught that ball. Like he was up, he was 9 feet in the air when he caught it. Like they're huge assets to have around the middle of the field, and Clare need to use them a bit more.
It's really that reason that Kerry are rarely going long with their own kickouts.
3 minutes of additional time being played at the end of the first half as Gavin White drives forward strongly for
the
Kerry.
Wing half back, Sean O'Shea. Back for Tom O'Sullivan.
Kerry now flooding plenty of players forward. Tom O'Sullivan to Paddy Clifford. He's had a very good first half in his first start in the championship.
Stephen O'Brien in a lot of space, time to take it
score for Kerry
and steady himself.
Stephen O'Brien,
but he's put that across the post. And it's a 7th wide of the first half for Kerry, who couldn't miss in the opening exchanges. And a bit errant since.
Yeah, there's 7-point gap, 7-point differential at the moment. In reality, it probably should be around 4. That would, I think, reflect the way the game has gone. They're coming back into it really strongly in the middle of that middle of the first half.
Stephen O'Brien on the ground.
That kick out
here's a good run by Diarmuid O'Connor, pace to this attack.
O'Connor eventually finds its way towards Paddy Clifford. He jinks into the space and pulls the trigger for his second.
No mistake, Kerry winning the kick out.
The transition from midfield to attack was really quick on that occasion. And I was watching Kerry before the game, just spent a lot of time in the warm-up, just with very intricate forward play, forward movements, a drill that involved a lot of forwards moving the ball at pace. And that was a good example of it in real time. Super score.
The last time Kerry were beaten here was the Munster final in 1995. It's a poor team. Lost the All-Ireland
Kerry
semi-final
forcing Clare
to
to
Jason
go
Sherlock
long
inspired
again.
Dublin a few weeks later.
They're winning.
Another
everything
kick out
around
goes
the centre of the
awry.
field
They're
in
being
the last
cleaned
few
in the middle of the
minutes.
field,
Paul
Clare.
Gainey comes forward.
Here's Gainey.
Gainey well able to score. Well
Blocked
blocked down
down
by
though from
Keane O'Dea.
O'Dea.
Picked up by Dara
Regathered by
Moynihan.
Dara Moynihan.
Kerry just keep possession here through Riano
Staying
Bigler.
forward was Brima Buglik, who really has been given a licence to join the Kerry
20
attack whenever he
seconds or
feels it's appropriate to do so. There's only one Clare player
David Moran.
within
This is
70
across
metres
as
of the
far
Kerry
as
goal at the
Mike
moment.
Breed.
They're set up
Stephen
not to
O'Brien.
concede a second goal before this half-time whistle.
Now then, here comes the pace.
Clifford.
O'Connor forward as far as Clifford.
With an
Back
exchange with
to
Tom O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan under pressure. Here's
Breen
Mike Breen.
finds Clifford again.
David Clifford. Kerry eventually
The referee's whistle is gone.
won a free. Have they? The referee blowing his whistle for an
Looks like
off-the-ball
there was
incident.
An incident
Now
drawn to his
he
attention
is
by
calling
his
over
linesman on
David
that far
Tubridy.
side of the field, David Tubridy, with a shake
David
of his
Tubridy.
head, and he's gone into the
Sees a
book.
yellow.
Yeah, maybe off the ball incident or some verbals.
Colin Collins is certainly
Colin
wondering what
Collins
that was for.
Is
I didn't
perplexed.
see anything here, but on
The
that last
result
kick out,
is a handy free
it went
for
to a
David Clifford,
contest.
right in front
Clare
of the
have
post.
just got to get some of the basics right.
And
When you're
Clifford
kicking too long to a contest
makes
like
no
that, you've got to
mistake.
have a teammate
There
in
goes the
front of the ball,
half-time
so if the
whistle.
ball breaks, and it's going to break down
And
in front of
Sean
Darren
O'Shea's
O'Neill if
goal.
he's in the air, or Darren behind.
14 has now come into the Clare attack. The man who got the goal that decided things in their league win at Newbridge against Kildare, their first ever win at that venue a few weeks ago. So away we go.
Second half underway.
I would have been really
Kerry
disappointed by the
unbeaten
manner
at
in which
home
they
the
conceded that
championship
goal in
since
particular to Sean
1995.
O'Shea, who finished that first half with 1-4.
Looks like it will continue that way unless Clare have a really good
Here is
second
Gavin
half.
White.
We'll wait and see.
So this will play Tipperary
Dara
in the last
Moynihan.
four, the reigning Munster champions.
Kerry
But
leading by 9 points
now a
at the
Division
break.
4
They got a
side
point
after
after
this year's
15
Alliance
seconds the
National
first
League.
half through Sean O'Shea.
Paddy Clifford
Score as quickly in the second
goes
half,
to
but
Breen,
may get one.
and now Gainey into
Working
O'Shea.
forward
who's
to
been playing
O'Shea.
a full forward today. Very interesting role.
Pass picked up
Real
here now by
defensive
Paddy Clifford under a
duties
bit of
for him
pressure,
to
and
perform.
Clifford
He's
has
just
won
been their
an
chief
early free
score
foul
getter.
there by Keane O'Dea.
An early
This
free
should
one
be a
by
point for his
Paddy
brother.
Clifford, and he pops it off to his little brother David, who's likely to stick this one
One
over the
possession
bar.
initially challenged
Yeah,
by
that's the
Kieran
second
Russell. and
throw-in
then he was
that Gerald
held
O'Connor has won.
by
He
Keane
caught it
O'Dea.
cleanly on this occasion and set up the attack, and there was a purpose in the movement and the passing from Kerry.
David Clifford
Moved it
scored
right down the
4
wing,
points.
and then a good little pass
First
inside
half
from
for
Paul
Kerry,
Gainey,
looking
resulting
to
in
get
this
his
free.
first of the second half, and he makes no mistake, and
Over
he
it goes.
extends
I
Kerry's
think the first
lead now to
5
10
points rather of the first half, Kerry. At the opening score of this second period. 2020, such a write-off for Kerry senior footballers, beaten in their opening game.
Better kick out this time.
First time they
from
failed to win an All-Star
Stephen Ryan
since
to
2012.
Pick out Emmett
They have
McMahon, who
many
scored one of
rights.
Clare's points in the first half. Kieran
Just
Russell
right
under
in this
pressure.
year, and many wrongs to right
Again,
from
this
last
is
year.
where it's all
Just a point in relation to Stephen Ryan. I think he's
very
done
hard
really
for
well in the
Clare
last
to
10
keep
minutes of the first
possession
half, and
under pressure
early
from
on
the
just finding his
Kerry
players
forwards,
with
and
the
they've
kick
won it
out.
back again. Here's
Couple went in
Dara
the air,
Moynihan inside
long ones
to
went in the air that they lost,
David
but the
Clifford.
short ones he's
Turns
found his
onto
teammates.
his right
So good
and
play by
strikes
Stephen
this
Ryan.
one really
Yeah,
high.
that one from
Umpire's
David
getting a good
Clifford.
look at it.
And then
That
is
one
tailed
has
away
tailed
to the left and wide.
I think one thing Kerry will be looking to do this half is to create goal-scoring opportunities. They were magnificent in the league, kicking 13 goals in four games. They got the one in the first half. It was a brilliant pass from David Clifford over the top inside to Sean O'Shea, but they haven't been
26
creative.
meetings of these
And
sides
part
in
of
the
that is down to a
Championship. Kerry have won
good
23.
Kildare, or good Clare
Clare
defence.
have won 2, the last of those famously in
421 against Galway,
1992.
6-15 against
Another foul
Tyrone.
committed by Clare on the
Extraordinary
field.
scores they were racking up in the league.
A bit like in the first half, Clare can't mount any
They
type of
ultimately shared
attack
that
at the
league
start of the
title with
second.
Dublin.
David Moran now with the free for Kerry.
And it's the holy grail that man is seeking. Kerry's first All-Ireland since
Again,
2014. Only twice in their
Mike
history have
Breen
they
was
gone
being held
longer
back there.
without bringing Sam Maguire back to the kingdom.
David Moore made his
That was
championship
after the
debut in
Irish Civil War
2008.
and that long
There's
run
a man
between
well used to winning All-Ireland, Dara O'Shea.
87 and
Another
97, 86 and 97.
midfielder. Here's Diarmuid O'Connor
Here's
bursting
Diarmuid
through
O'Connor.
now. Gives it as far as
Paudie Clifford. Quick
Lovely
ball
pass
inside to O'Shea.
Sean
Out
O'Shea,
in front,
time and
time
space
to
for
get
O'Shea.
turned.
Onto his right
Ruggles
foot.
into the
Fires
space,
this
looking to
one
make the
high
shot,
and
but
wide again.
They've
Nine
got bodies
wides now
around
for
him, and it's a
Kerry.
ninth wide for Kerry. His
Some
accuracy is deserting them now.
Good play initially, good ball in by Paudie
The accuracy
Clifford.
was the only
Poor
thing that was
effort
wrong
by
about
Sean
that move.
O'Shea.
That was just outstanding pass inside. Was it from Dara Moynihan? Not sure, but that bouncing ball right in front of Sean O'Shea. But again, it's a tactic that Kerry have employed. Anytime they win the ball, they play somebody very deep in close to the goal, and that bit of space right in front of the goal then is open for them to exploit with that pop pass.
Now then, here's
It's a really
David
good piece
Tubridy.
of fielding from
Ball
Emmett
inside
McMahon
has
in the
been
middle of the
well
field,
gathered by
and looking to get
Gavin
away from his
Cooney.
marker was Gavin Cooney, who's been starved with the ball in this
O'Dea.
game.
Here's
McMahon again.
And that one is going
Nice
to come
cue
down
from him.
with snow on it.
Clare might make
In
something
goes
of it.
Darren O'Neill to challenge, and O'Neill
O'Neill
has
had
won
gone
it.
in to field
and then
it.
he has also won a free.
The referee's going
Or
to
is
throw
it going
that
to be a
ball
hot
up.
ball? Well, that seems to be the
O'Neill's
decision,
certainly
although it
wondering
did
why
look
that
like
was
he
the
was
case.
giving a free into Clare.
He's managed to win it again.
Maybe he'll do it now. Yes, that's
And immediately the whistle
And
goes for the
Darren
free
O'Neill
hit.
has won the free.
Well, we talked about
He's
the
such a
kick
big man
passes
when he
dropping a bit
gets
short
his
in the
hands on
first
the
half. I
ball.
don't think
Very hard
that's what
to
we had in
dispossess.
mind when we said there might be a little bit more elevation on the, but it
Should
hung in
be
the air,
Clare's opening
and
point of the
certainly
second
his
half.
height
So their top scorer, Owen Cleary,
paid off on that
3
occasion.
points in the
Darren
first
O'Neill,
half,
even though he won it, I think, in the
now
first instance.
second.
I think David Moore kind of pulled it off him, but
It's 1-12 to 6
yeah,
points.
good catch, good score.
Fourth of the evening for Owen Cleary.
That, incidentally, is Clare's first point from a free in the match.
Fitzgibbon got the call to his left from Tom O'Sullivan.
Very close to the sideline.
Cooked a little.
And straight out over it. Tom O'Sullivan not able to keep it in.
Ball in the hands of Conor Jordan.
Gets
Gets
it
it
back
back
from
again.
Bohannon.
First
Joe
touch since
McGann,
coming
the
on at
half-time
half-time for Joe
substitute, trying to
McGann.
get away from Tom
Very good
O'Sullivan
runner and carrier of the ball.
to Dara
Back for
Bohannon.
Bohannon.
And
He
Bohannon
was a
strikes
little
this
rushed
one
in his effort there.
well right and wide.
There's fourth wide.
Score all of those, really. If they are
Clare
to
will
be
draw
able to
comfort
show.
from the fact that they had a really strong second half against Mayo only a couple of weeks ago. 2-10 in the second half, got back to within 2 points of Mayo, who had a very big lead in the first half. And there's the pressure again of the Clare forwards. That's really good.
And good pressure
An
from the
apology
Clare
from
forwards.
Kieran Fitzgibbon. He really shouldn't have released that ball. He didn't travel far enough, and Clare might have a chance to put a bit more pressure on Kerry here.
And it also travelled inside the 20-metre line, so
That ball didn't
must travel outside the 20.
21-metre line.
That was the reason for the free.
Picked by Cleary. Out to
Clare have it
Tubridy.
again
Just
through
takes a couple of
Tubridy,
steps
looking for his
backwards.
first score of the game,
Well, he's
but
been
no,
scoring
it's
from that sort of range
wide
for
and
well
wide,
over a
5
decade
wides
for
now
Clare,
for Clare,
and
and
he'll be
Clare
very
of
disappointed with that.
David Tubridy's
Just snatched it a little
quality,
bit,
really
had
disappointed
a
with
bit
that
more
effort.
time. Could have hooked it around. But
Fitzgibbon, unsurprisingly, opts to
Fitzgibbon
go
going
long this time.
long this time. And that's a bit of holding there. David Moran
And the referee was
by Darragh Bohannon.
given that free to Clare in the
fans
end.
amongst
Clare
the
certainly
200,
felt they
not
were
happy with the
the
decision, and it has
he
been
just made
reversed
party.
and
He just
correctly
made an
so.
error.
As Clare
I think he's
get
having a
this
very
one
good game, the
forward
referee,
now
I have to say.
Talisman
Here's
David
Tubridy.
Tubridy trying to
Get
create
away
a
from
shooting
Gavin
angle
White.
for himself under pressure from Gavin White.
Cleary.
Here's Owen Cleary.
Making use of
Jinking
the
one way
shimmy
than
to
the other. He's
made
managed
a
to hold
couple
on
of
to
Kerry
possession.
defenders.
That one out as
This
far
is
now as
Darren
Darren
O'Neill.
O'Neill. And Clare making hard work of retaining possession
Kieran
here.
Russell.
Here's Gavin Cooney.
Cooney.
Good run from the corner forward. Still Cooney.
Making good
And that ball
ground,
could
and it
come
might
across
fall
to
for O'Neill here.
Trying to
Looking to
create
get the shot away
chance for
towards
himself.
goal.
O'Neill gets the pass out. Surely a point here for
Back
the
out to
taking by
Cleary.
Cleary.
Drops it onto his
And
left
that
boot.
one has been
It's a
struck
third wide in a
after
row
all
for
that
Clare, who
effort.
are creating
Clare
opportunities.
well, they
get
took on
nothing.
the Kerry defence there and almost created a goal opportunity. I thought Owen Cleary did
across
really
here
well
from
earlier on in the
Gavin
play there.
Cooney.
Lovely
Picked up by
silken
Darren
skills.
O'Neill. Good
Managed to
pressure,
hold
though,
on to the
from
ball
David
and
Moran,
bring other players into it.
got
But
out eventually a poor wide.
again, just snatched that a little bit.
Sweden just about got away with that one.
Well,
There was a shove in the back.
Collins not happy with the
And
decision.
Gavin White.
And Clare putting serious
Colin
pressure on the
Collins
Kerry
not
kick out
happy
at
with
the
the
moment.
decision the referee took there.
There's a definite free committed there by Gavin Cooney.
Breen, now Stephen O'Brien trying to get Kerry up the field.
Their manager not happy with the decision though.
This is Paudie Clifford.
Paudie Clifford.
Colin Cullen's not a happy man.
As far as
David Moore.
It's
opened up for him. We know he can strike from this sort of distance.
David Moore
And where Clare failed to hit the target on 3 previous occasions at the other end. David Moore shows them how it's done.
He just loves to get into those positions on the right-hand side and just to hook the ball over the bar. But again, Clare forwards putting the goalkeeper, Kerry goalkeeper, Kieran Fitzgibbon under a lot of pressure on the kickouts.
Daniel Walsh, who was part of the under-20 panel last year, has come off the Clare bench to make his championship debut.
Daniel Walsh.
In an impressive league. He included a goal against Laois in Division 2.
As Kerry push up on the Clare kick-out, Stephen Ryan going.
Darren O'Neill, the target of this kick-out.
Broken down, and Clare
have
managed to win it through David Tubridy. Looking inside, drives it in.
That ball was never really on.
And Kerry can come clear.
There's Breen, and now O'Shea.
O'Shea coming
Probably the
very
deepest
deep
he's been at any stage in this
possession.
match so far.
Kerry's top scorer with a goal and 4
Gainey
points.
and David Clifford are the 2 inside forwards at the moment.
Darragh Moynihan.
There's Darragh Moynihan.
Only his second championship match for Kerry.
10 minutes into this second half, the gap
White.
between the sides is 10.
They've worked this one nicely forward to Sean O'Shea.
They've only added 1 to the lead since the restart. Here is Gavin White.
Gavin Crowley gets this one all the way across now to Brianna Bigelow.
Ball into Clifford.
Nice pass inside to Clifford. Neat little hand pass.
Clifford wants it
And
back
Clifford
again.
wants the return, and he has it, and he's lost out.
Just gets away from
Clare
it.
men around him, and then the foul
Sean
has
Collins
been
is
committed
fouled.
eventually by Paul Gainey.
The game just ambling along at the moment. Neither side really on top.
We played 10 minutes of the second half.
Very
There's
comfortable.
only been 3 scores, 2 of them
Long
for
fist
Kerry.
ball into the path of Bohannon. He was pushed by Diarmuid O'Connor as he got to the ball.
Darragh Bohannon made a terrific run from the midfield. He just pointed where he wanted the pass. Great energy to get right in front of
Shoved there by
Diarmuid
Gavin
O'Connor on that
Crowley.
occasion, and got his body in the right position, and knew when he
It's actually Diarmuid O'Connor who committed the
when
foul.
he gathered the ball that he was going to make or have contact. So good play.
There's David Tubridy,
David Tubridy
who hasn't
looking
managed
for
to get
his
on the
first
score sheet as
score
yet
of the
today.
game.
126 he's got in his previous 7 championship appearances against Kerry.
Tubridy.
He's just clipped that one
This one
casually towards
nicely
the post, and
over
over it goes.
And that's their second point of the half, but they still trail by 9 points.
Takes it back to where it was at the break. Fitzgibbon, they're really pressing
They're
high in the
pushing up
second
again
half
on
and giving the new Kerry goalkeeper plenty to
Fitzgibbon.
think about.
One broken down.
And they've won another kick out
Well
off
won
Kerry
by
ball.
Clare, quickly taken free there by Pierce Lillis.
Here's
Here comes
Daniel Walsh, his first
just
touch in
into the zone.
senior championship football. Tubridy,
Tubridy again,
that's going to
into
drop
the
short.
square. Well
And into the
taken
hands
by
of Kieran Fitzgibbon.
And then he wins a free.
It's just an injury to the Kerry centre-half forward Sean O'Shea at the moment. He's on the Kerry 65 now, getting some treatment. That's where the whistle has gone. There he is.
It's Sean O'Shea, who is down receiving some attention. He made his championship debut
he's a player
3 years ago.
they certainly
This
wouldn't want to lose.
15th championship outing for Kerry this evening.
Everyone talks about David Clifford being the indispensable member of this Kerry forward line, but Seanie O'Shea is not far behind him.
Absolutely not, and you know, he has a full array of skills. He can go right, he can go left. His body movement and his
is in for him.
ability to find space for himself. He's very unselfish. He can take frees. He's got it all.
His dad Sean played alongside Peter Keane, the Kerry manager, at minor level. The side that reached the 1989 All-Ireland semi-final, and of course a star at minor level himself. Sean O'Shea collected a couple of All-Ireland medals in 15 and 16. Kerry about to make their first change.
Spillane.
It is a stacked bench.
enter the fray.
Includes the two Spillane brothers, but that's Killian. He's going to be in shortly. You also have the likes of Morley, Paul Murphy, Tommy Walsh, Jack Barry, Jack Sherwood, Micheál Burns, all on that Kerry bench. It's a squad, Paul, that has really had its depth added to over the last couple of seasons.
Certainly has, and Tyke Morley came on against Roscommon in the league, got sent off straight away and missed the following game because of the suspension. Paul Murphy didn't start the last day against Tyrone, and on both occasions Kerry played really well. They finished the game very strongly against Roscommon. They played exceptionally well against Tyrone, and that's, I'm sure, what Peter Keane is looking for, is whenever a player comes on, he's taking a claim for the first team spot, and if a player loses out or if he's substituted, he might find it difficult to get back in, and so there's intense competition for places, and we see that with Dublin over the years. The Dublin bench is as strong. A lot of the players are as strong as the first team players, so you got to have that in depth, strength and depth to win All-Irelands.
And there's no need to take any chances with Sean O'Shea, so he's going to be withdrawn. Spillane comes in. Keelan Sexton, who's a really talented forward himself, has come on for Clare.
Kerry bursting through
Tom
here.
O'Sullivan.
Tom O'Sullivan to be substitute.
It's such an
Killian
impact in the
Spillane
drawn
straight
game
on
against Dublin in the
to
All-Ireland
the
a couple of
ball.
years ago.
Gets away there
Coming
from
in off the
McGann.
bench. Gets his first touch. And
Stephen
Stephen
O'Brien.
He was in Footballer of the Year form a couple of years back.
Tom O'Sullivan, a little bit of space in front of him.
Spillane
As
once
far
more.
as Killian Spillane scored 4 points against Cork in the Munster semi-final last year. That's a
Directed
poor
ball
pass
doesn't have
inside
enough
though.
on it to find Clifford.
No chance for Clare to counter.
Done by Bohannon.
Lots of Clare men
Pierce
in
Lillis.
this attack. Pierce Lillis gets it inside to
Talented hurler as well, Pierce Lillis.
Mahan.
That Ballier side that
Tubridy.
came so close
under
to
a bit
winning
of
in
pressure.
All-Ireland a couple of years
Retains
ago.
it though.
And he's on the ball again here.
This one forward
Fires
there
it
by
into
Lillis.
McGann.
Into Joe McGann. And
Gets
McGann
away from Spillane.
blocked down though.
Just held his ground and got in a
by
brilliant block.
Killian Spillane. That's very good tracking.
Kerry
back
can
from
look
the
to counter.
Kerry substitute.
Mike Breen helps it on to
Breen gets
Gainey.
it out as far as Paul Gainey. As if this game opens up,
Breen
it's
up
where
Ugly.
Kerry
Clifford.
could get some scores.
Breen.
Mike Breen being held
Looked
there
like
by
he was being fouled by Killian Brennan. He
and then
was.
the referee has given Kerry the free in. And a chance for the Kingdom to get their third point of the second half.
Well, no Shawnee O'Shea, so this free will need to be taken by Paul Gainey. That's the reason for it. Gainey, who has one score to his name already this evening.
To take this free.
Two-time All-Star. Doesn't quite grab the headlines that he once did, given the presence of the likes of O'Shea and Clifford in this forward
Paul
line,
Gainey
but it's a
struck this one right and wide.
decent strike,
10 wides now
lacking
for
a
Kerry.
bit of precision. And another wide for Kerry. They are now into double figures on that count.
Yeah, it must have been just outside the post. Paul Gainey was arguing with the referee that occasion. He swung it well, but
both sides having trouble with their own kickouts, but that's
mark taken by David
a good
Tubridy.
one, taken by
And
David
it goes to
Tubridy.
Bohannon.
Back to Darragh Bohannon.
Now Emmett McMahon.
Mahan.
Sean Collins.
Lillis.
Pierce Lillis.
Gets this one to
Cleary.
Owen Cleary. But Clare a long way
the big
from
man
the
is inside.
Kerry
Darren
goal
O'Neill
at
is
the moment.
inside on the edge of the square.
Daniel
It
Walsh.
was a 2-on-2 inside, but Clare are slow
need a
build
goal or
up,
two
allowing
to
Kerry
have
to
any
drop players
chance
back. David Moran is
in the
now
last
just
20
drifting
minutes or
back
so.
in onto the goal line, whereas 30 seconds ago it was
Pass
2-on-2.
inside here to Russell.
up by Russell,
all the way
and
across,
in
and there's
towards
a chance for
Darren
the big
O'Neill.
man, but O'Neill
He's
wasn't
got
able to get on the end of
Cleary
it.
for company.
Still
Needs a little
Darren
bit of support,
O'Neill
the tall
needs
midfielder.
support. It's a good hand pass out
They'll
to
recycle
Lillis,
it and they'll have to
who
start
finds
again.
the substitute Keelan Sexton.
There's a bit more movement off the ball for the
Ball
man of
inside
possession
to
for Clare at the
Bohannon,
moment.
and he
They've worked the
strikes this
shooting
one neatly, and
opportunity
that's a
and they've
well-worked
taken it
score by Clare.
thanks to Darragh Bohannon.
Finished by Darragh
Yeah, well
Bohannon.
worked, good score, but if they do play the big man inside, they've got to let the
Of
ball
the
in a
match.
bit quicker.
One
But
Clare
that was a
badly
really good,
needed,
well-worked score, Darren Bohannon, who's had a very,
point.
very good game. Good score off his left foot.
And that's his first score in senior championship football, and it takes us to the second water break of this month's senior football quarter-final. Kerry leading by 8. Let's get the thoughts of Jim and Kieran in our studio.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I think for me the big one is Kerry have kicked 2 points in the second half, and you know, they haven't really kicked on, and the that'll be something that'll probably come into sharp focus after the game. And then also the kick out. We spoke about it before the game. You know, the two things that we would be looking out for. You know, the full back line and the kick out strategy. And Clare haven't asked enough questions to find out about the full back line, but the kick out strategy definitely is not at the level that you would expect to be one in All-Ireland.
Yeah, you can just see Peter Keane there almost telling Kieran Fitzgibbon just to calm down, settle down a small bit, because it's not like Clare are putting a massive press or anything on them. It's a fairly basic six-man press, zonal press, and you know, we're kicking it out over the sideline, we're kicking it inside the 21. It's a huge area of concern for Kerry going forward, I can imagine. And you know, Shane Ryan is on the bench, he's been out injured for a while. Kieran Fitzgibbon stepped in and did quite well, but I'd say that place is going to be up for grabs going forward.
Okay, thanks guys. Well, they were so free scoring in the Alliance National League, Paul. Kerry's ability to pull teams apart hasn't been quite on show this evening. How much of that is down to Clare? How much of it is down to the fact that Kerry have been in complete control of this game almost from the get-go?
Well, I think a lot of it is down to Clare as well. They've worked very, very hard. They've made it difficult for Kerry. Their defensive structure has been very, very good. They haven't allowed them to create any goal-scoring opportunities. They've tackled hard. And part of it as well, I think, you know, the game at half-time, probably Kerry were 9 points ahead at half-time. A bit like the Mayo game earlier on, you know, the second half maybe, you know, not going to do as well in the second half, but probably a little bit disappointing that they haven't created as much in the second half.
Kerry have only scored 2 points in this second half, and we're only 18 minutes in.
To be in or is in for Kerry.
David Moran.
Sean O'Shea is back on the field.
Good pass forward
checked
from
out
Moran
that
to
knock.
David Clifford.
Here's Clifford.
To get away from his man, but he's been well
taken almost behind his back by Dermot O'Connor.
From centre field.
After Paudie Clifford this time.
Can't get a shot away. Needs support. Has it.
And it goes to Stephen O'Brien.
O'Brien to Spillane. Working
Spillane.
really hard. Here's Paul Gainey.
I want to see Tommy Walsh introduced as well.
Shot. He didn't bother going for it. Gavin White may go for it. This is a great run by the
acceleration from Gavin White. Well, the goal was gaping. He had a chance to really put his head down, but opted to take the point and extend Kerry's lead.
Gavin White has been impressive today. His pace is outstanding, and Clare have been very well connected in the middle, the centre of the defence. They've condensed that area well. They've got lots of bodies there, but he just put the afterburners on and was able to find that little bit of space. Brilliant score.
He's only ever had 1 point at championship football prior to that one, Gavin White. Here is Moran. Picked up by Sean O'Shea.
At centre field for Kerry at the moment. Paudie Clifford.
For Breen.
Mike Breen. Clifford again. Showing a bit of pace there to get away from Joe McGann. McGann held him back.
The retreating Joe McGann.
A free into Kerry.
Kerry working short.
Back into the action. Here's Stephen O'Brien.
Just over a quarter of an hour remaining.
Killian Spillane back to Sean O'Shea.
O'Shea again.
It's an attack that's crying out for a bit of
Spillane.
pace to be injected. Green.
To Gavin White. Moran called for it inside.
Across to Moran.
Clifford.
White and Paudie Clifford together now then.
Spotted the man in space down that right-hand side. Coming onto it really well was O'Buglia.
O'Buglia gets this one out as far as White. Will he get his second point of the day?
Just
yes,
kicked
he
one.
will.
Gavin White's got in on the attack again, and he's got a second.
Couple of minutes for him.
I have to say, the pass from Paudie Clifford was just fantastic. He was off balance, leaning back, you know, facing the wrong way, and he put a beautiful left-footed
and a neat finish.
Pass on that kick on that pass. It was just a magnificent pass, and Gavin White again surging forward. You said he hadn't scored, had he, Dave, for Kerry up to?
He had won prior to tonight.
He had won prior to tonight.
He's
more
than double that now.
200% ahead tonight. Well done.
Tommy Walsh is on for Kerry.
Yeah, I thought he might have held Tommy Walsh in reserve. I think if the game was very tight, I think he would have brought Tommy Walsh on earlier and maybe played a longer game. While Clare are tall around the middle of the field in the half-forward line. Full back line isn't that tall, and maybe there would be a mismatch there. I thought he might have held him in reserve maybe for future games, but
trying to get away from Mike Green, and
he's given him an opportunity to come out and show his talents.
Jerome Henry has given Clare a free
11 years since he made his debut. You have the Twin Towers alongside Kieran Donaghy in 08.
O'Connor also.
That was the free that was won by McGann, and it will be taken by Owen Cleary.
Free now will be taken by Owen Cleary. There's Tommy Walsh, who made his debut for Kerry against Clare in 2008. Cleary has struck this one nicely over the bar.
By Cleary.
And that's 5 points for Cleary.
He's been Clare's scorer in chief today. That's his 5th point. It's given.
That one out as far as
his fullback Jason Foley. There's an element of risk attached to that kick out.
Kerry will not want
Here's
to make
Morley, his
any
first touch since coming in.
Possession in their own full back line.
Foley for Moore.
To David Moore, and just coming
about
back
to make another
calm
switch.
things down. Gets away nicely.
Now beginning to feel that Kerry bench this game is won.
Moore gets
Clifford.
a good ball forward. Nice
impressive showing it's been for him. The
chest
first
of
time he
Paudie
started
Clifford.
in the green and gold in the championship game.
Trying to get away
Killian
from Sean
Spillane, he's
Collins.
got pace to
Good turn
burn,
of
trying
pace
to burn
from
off
Killian
Sean
Spillane.
Collins.
And that one
He looks to have hooked that
has
one to the
gone
left and wide. He
left
has.
and wide, a little bit of indecision
Certainly one
between
aspect
the
of their
umpires.
game that
One
Peter
looked at the
Keaton looked
other.
to improve.
I'm
Paul,
not too sure what
kicked
to
a
do
lot
when
of
they
ball
turn
away,
this
Kerry,
one.
today.
They certainly have. And on the other side, you mentioned about Owen Cleary, how accurate he was. In his last 4 games in the league, he scored 10 points, 7 points,
David Moore
4
will be
points
happy
and 8
with
points.
his
And he has
power.
what today?
And Adrian
5
Spillane
today.
Yeah.
to replace
So,
him.
you know, that's a great return, you know, consistently scoring high numbers. That's fantastic.
Adrian Spillane is in now, so the two Spillane brothers from
Stephen
Temple
Ryan
now are on the
started
field, the
that Clare
sons
attack.
of Tom. Of course, the nephews of Pat
About
and
12
Mick.
minutes to go as Kieran Russell,
Forward for Clare's
first
Kieran
forward
Russell.
for Clare.
Inside it goes to Emmett
McMahon.
McMahon.
Got a good point in the first half. They could have done
Daniel
with a
Walsh.
few more really in the
For Ruane.
second. Ruane across as far as
His debut off the
Keane
bench.
O'D.
Keane O'D, a hopeful
That one,
ball in
a
towards
hopeful
Darren
one in
O'Neill. This will be an
towards the edge of the
interesting tussle.
square.
But Kerry had plenty of
well
bodies in
dealt
and
with
around
by
the midfielder.
Kerry defenders.
And there wasn't a lot he could do with it.
Diarmuid O'Connor has been fouled.
Yeah, again, just hanging in the air far too long allows defenders to drop back. Defender behind, defender in front, and it's very difficult for the big man to catch that. Kerry did well to defend that ball.
It's that diagonal ball that's fired in over the head of the defender, really, that can reap most dividends.
Killian
Very
Spillane.
awkward for that man underneath it to do anything when it's of that height and at that direction.
Setting of Killarney
There
as the
is
sun is
Spillane.
out.
Picked up
Adrian
by his
Spillane
brother Adrian.
all the way
Now
across now
Gainey.
to Paul Gainey. Diarmuid
Diarmuid
O'Connor
O'Connor on his
called for the
shoulder.
pass
Off he
there,
goes.
trying to get
Gets
away
around
from
Daniel Walsh, who was fouling him.
That will be a yellow
He brings
card
it back
for
for the free.
Clare wing back.
He really does love to
This
go
will
forward,
be
Diarmuid O'Connor. He scored, I think,
score for
3
Kerry,
points in
you
the
would
first league
imagine.
game, 2 points from playing the
Such
second.
a strong runner from midfield, Diarmuid O'Connor.
Has gone forward a
And he was
number of
being held
times in
back
this
there by
game,
Daniel
just
Walsh.
hasn't made the breakthrough other than on that occasion. But you can see that he can certainly add something to the attack if he's playing alongside David Moore, and David Moore can sit back and he can do the running forward.
Sean O'Shea scored a goal and 4 in the first half, looking for his first point of the second, and he
O'Shea
makes
brings his
no
own
mistake.
personal
With just
tally
over
to 1-5.
10 minutes of play remaining, Kerry lead by 10 points.
That's on a real issue now, the tipping son for Stephen Ryan in the Clare goal. Threw out a rather hospital ball into the middle of the
Kerry
field
have
towards
one
Emmett
possession back now.
McMahon. He was beaten to it. Here
Chance
come
of
Kerry
Dermot
now.
Clifford of getting a goal. Still Clifford gets it inside.
And it's just
And then
passed over the
eventually
bar
it's been
by Sean
fisted
O'Shea,
over the
who
bar
now has
by
won 6.
Sean O'Shea, so 2 points for him.
Yeah, the ball was just
In
hanging a little bit
30
too high.
seconds or
But
so,
Kerry
and it came again from
closed
a
the space
poor
down very
kick-off by
quickly. There were 3
Clare.
players
David Clifford into Sean
converging
O'Shea,
on
he fisted over.
the Clare man. I think it was Darren Bohannon. And
Contestable around the middle.
Fisted
It's
down.
another breaking
1
ball won
point.
by Kerry.
Clifford, he palms it back. Clare have a chance to win it back. And the referee has
Might be a
blown
card
his
here
whistle for the challenge
Lewis.
there on Diarmuid O'Connor, just as he was about to go down on it. The ball was kicked
yeah,
forward
just
there by
kicking in danger there. Certainly a bit of dangerous play. So yellow card.
Yellow card for Lillis.
So into the book he goes. Clare's venture into this year's football championship will be short-lived. Joining Sligo and Waterford as the sides who exited at the first hurdle today.
He's done well in his first championship
Beating
start
Waterford
for
in the other Munster
Kerry.
Senior Football
First of
Championship
many,
quarter-final that took place today. They take on Cork in the last four.
For
looks like
David
Kerry
Clifford straight away.
ease through to face Tipperary in their semi-final.
Tommy Walsh.
Tommy
Using
Walsh
his strength to hold off
for O'Shea.
Clifford.
Clifford on the turn even before the
Great
ball arrived at him. Swings it over, left-footed,
Clare man,
and over the bar it
this one
goes.
over. Really good point by
Yeah, it's opening up now. Clare getting a little bit tired.
And
The
he is
subs,
finding space.
Kerry subs making an impact.
Clare full back line, but had a lot to do, but didn't he do it well?
Lovely balance, beautiful strike.
Yeah, they've got 5 of the last 6 scores and they're really starting to pull away now. Here is Cleary. Support run made outside him by Sexton.
6 scores in the match,
Now
but here
Bohannon.
comes Dara Bohannon. They need a goal.
Tubridy.
Here's Tubridy.
Oh, lovely goal from
Finds
David
it.
Tubridy.
Great goal by David Tubridy.
Rarely turns down
Just
those
what
sort of
Clare needed.
opportunities. The
There's 8 minutes to
34-year-old
go.
gets his 4th goal
They
on
trail
his
by 9.
39th
But there is
championship
some hope
appearance.
for Colm Collins' side.
Fully deserved it as well.
Well
Lovely
worked
play,
goal. Bohannon
beautiful hand passing,
to Tubridy,
support
and
running
that's a
off the
lovely
shoulder
finish.
by David Clifford. Good play by Dara Bohannon, who I think has been really good for
both the next
Clare
ball or
today,
two.
and a fantastic finish, left foot. Beautiful goal.
Well, if this is to be the last time we see David Tubridy line out in the colours of Clare, that'll be a memory we can take from it.
Well, I hope he stays on because he's still got a huge amount to offer. He's played well.
That's
He's
the first goal that
beautiful
Clare
skills,
scored
works
against
very
Kerry in
hard,
the championship
has a good
since 2014.
good relationship with Owen Cleary, who's obviously the captain.
5 times since then.
In terms of they play very well together,
There's David
good link-up play
Clifford.
between the two of them.
Still
So
Clifford now. Back
hopefully
to
he'll
brother
continue.
Paddy.
He made his championship debut in the old
Tommy
Tommy Murphy
Walsh.
Cup
Will he have a
14
shot?
years ago.
Poor effort from Walsh.
Incidentally, it was against
Gathered
Tipperary
by
on the
Stephen
day that
Ryan.
another Munster
There's the
footballing
another
attacking
attack
great
from Sean Collins
retired.
drives it forward. The bouncing ball deceives everybody. Picked up neatly
There
by
is
Gavin
Kerry
Crowley.
centre half back
Under
Gavin
pressure
Crowley.
from Joe McGann.
Yeah, Gavin Crowley read that ball
Conceding
really
the
well.
free.
Look, the result is in doubt, but you would have to say that the measure of a team at the end of a season, you know, at a good management and a team is, have they progressed, have they got better, and again, Clare, you'd have to say they've progressed again this year. You know, they've been really good in the league.
Spillane.
You know, 1 game away, 4 points away from getting promoted to Division 1. Structurally, they're better.
As does
They're
Keane
very
O'Dea.
competitive. They've put on big scores in the last couple of league games in particular. Yes, they've conceded quite a bit, but they've scored a lot more than they used to. So, you know, the management team has done a fantastic job. The team themselves have done a really good job.
Dermot O'Connor
And,
gets this one forward to Gainey.
even though they're going to
Now
get
then,
beaten
Clifford,
here,
but just took his
it's
eye off the ball
been
for a
another really
second,
positive
which
year
gave
for
Clare a
Clare.
chance to challenge him. Here's
to the
Sean
back
O'Shea
door.
though.
And
Here's
this
the
year
pace
is
that every
really
team
affecting
loves.
teams like
Back
Clare.
to Spillane. Should be a
Topped over
score
by
and is
Killian
a score
Spillane,
by
a side
Killian
that
Spillane.
would have the potential, Paul, to go
That's a
really
goal
deep
of
into the
19
qualifiers if
points
they were
now
given the
for
opportunity.
Kerry.
Yeah, and look, you know, we're in a difficult
O'Shea,
year,
the
obviously,
creator,
difficult couple of
into
years, so
Spillane.
we know the reasons why there isn't
Made no
a
mistake.
qualifier, but Clare would benefit from it, obviously, you know, because they won't come up against a team of the quality of Kerry too often, and they'll be very, very difficult team to
Driving
beat if they
forward
went through a
through
qualifier period,
Sean
and hopefully, as I
Collins,
said,
back
they'll
to
keep all these
Owen
players for
Cleary.
next year.
Another really good
Cleary.
score from Owen
There's
Cleary.
over. Another
He's had a
nice
very
score.
good
He's done
game.
well today. That's 6 points
That's his
in
6th.
total for
And it's not
Owen
just this game,
Cleary.
as I said
4 of
earlier,
them
Dave,
have
it's
come for play.
consistently he's been one of their top performers over the last number of years and a great leader on the field. He's the captain and leads by example.
Better
Kick out from Fitzgibbon.
Fitzgibbon this
On
time
Paddy
to pick out
Clifford.
Paddy Clifford. As the Clare men are tiring, Kerry finding more space in
Adrian
Fitzgerald
Spillane,
Stadium.
who didn't feature
Here's
against
Adrian
Cork in that
Spillane.
one game last year.
Ball inside,
Gainey,
looking for Paul Gainey.
the ball stripped from him.
Serious pressure.
Helps Kerry win it back
And then
again.
Here's Adrian Spillane.
Spillane
Gets it
for
across,
Clifford.
a chance
Goal
for
is on for
Clifford.
him. Oh, rips it into the back of the
Buried
net.
to the back of the net by David Clifford. And that's the icing on the cake for Kerry.
And again, as the game opens
Finished
up, you
by
can
their
see
captain.
the quality shining through there. He's just finding that little bit of space,
Their cover was
acceleration
breached,
off
and
the
an
mark,
unerring finish.
giving Paul
of
Gainey the opportunity to
David
pop the
Clifford.
pass, running straight at goal, and what a
That
finish. Look
is
at the confidence of the finish. He's just buried it. his 7th goal. 4 or 6 during the league campaign in 4 games. Number 7 for the year.
David Clifford with his
Fifth
7th goal of the season,
Championship
6
football,
goals in the league,
1-6 the tally for the
and
skipper.
his first goal of the 2021 championship.
He might not be the captain next time out if Paul Murphy manages to get on the field. That is the fullback Killian Brennan down after that challenge from Sean O'Shea. He's the latest player to be shown a yellow card. There have been many in the game tonight.
Yeah, it hasn't been a dirty game by any means. There's been some hard hitting, but I think the referee has managed it really well. There wasn't an awful lot in that, okay. Sean O'Shea went down a little bit low with the shoulder. But yeah, I think the referee's done a very, very good job. There's been no big incidents, no controversial incidents. So positive all around.
Well, that's the 7th yellow card of the game. David Clifford just took a bit of a knock when he scored the goal. And I just wonder, are they considering taking him off? You certainly don't want to take any risks with that man, and that is in fact the case. He's being withdrawn, and Micheál Burns from Dr. Croak's club here in Clare comes in. It's just the way he came down from the air after that strike.
With the Fossa man, he will be withdrawn.
Here's the grimace.
Job done.
Here is Lillis.
Lillis to
Bohannon, who's impressed at times tonight.
Ruine.
Killian Ruine. Daniel Walsh will to play a big part next year for his debut tonight. In towards O'Neill, beaten away well by the Kerry defence.
Nice pass back.
Tubridy trying to find Joe McGann, who can't make anything of it.
Yeah, that was brilliant by Jason. Was it by Jason Foley? A brilliant punch from behind. We don't see that too often in the modern game. There's very few. There's very few long balls that win, but he was behind a man who was probably 4 or 5 inches taller than him, and he punched it out straight ahead.
Now back to Micheál Burns, trying to make an impression just
Kerry
after
picked up the crumbs.
Micheál Burns, a very direct, almost hunched over running style.
Back to Burns again. Kerry just happy to hold on to possession through Sean O'Shea. O'Shea now
here is
top
Sean
scorer
O'Shea.
for Kerry this evening.
For Kerry have certainly in the first half plenty of standout performers. And who was it that has stood out for you? Who would be your AIB man of the match tonight?
Well, the man who's on the ball at the moment, Sean O'Shea. I think when the game was there to be won early on, he was outstanding. He got the first few points, then he got the goal. Kerry have had some other outstanding performers. Gavin White has had a really good game. David Clifford obviously got 1-6. Some other good performers, but I think, as I said, when it was in the melting pot and somebody stood up and showcased his skills and got the scores at a vital stage, I think Sean O'Shea is the man. But I think, you know, you'll have to highlight, as I said, Owen Cleary, Darren Bohannon and others on the Clare team as well, who put in a really strong shift.
In Killarney, 2:20 to a goal in 10. The substitutes combining Micheál Burns to
Killian Spillane swing over his second of the evening.
Score.
Into the final minute, and we'll have a couple more additional minutes at the end. Clare's final minutes of this year's championship. They solidified their place, as they have done up the last 5 years now, as a Division 2 side. And weren't a million miles away from making it up to Division 1. Not bad, given that when they were under Colm Collins 7 years ago, they were in Division 4. A couple of good runs through the qualifiers as well under Collins. Got to an All-Ireland quarter-final where they met Kerry for the second time in that year's championship. And I'm sure everyone associated with Clare football will be hoping that Colm Collins will come back for another go next year, given how short-lived their status as championship contenders was this time around.
2 very good points for him in the second half.
Burns.
Micheál Burns trying to get away from
the outside of McGann. He has done, and he's lost it.
And then he just
there was a foul in there.
He was being held and just couldn't keep his feet.
Kieran was a bit disappointed at half-time, maybe with Kerry taking the foot off the pedal, and maybe at the water break as well. But they finished really strongly. You know, they've got 22 scores in a championship game, likely to be 23 here. If Sean O'Shea puts this over the bar, that's impressive. You know, they've been over I think, an average of 20 scores a game in the last 4 league games, so they've exceeded that.
Sean O'Shea.
So I'm sure Peter Keane will have work-ons, but he'll be very happy overall.
And he makes no mistake. And that's a goal and 7. Now
for Sean O'Shea, 1-7 for him.
And Kerry will be happy with their
sizable tally now that Kerry have racked up. It took a while to get going, but they've scored at will in this final 10 minutes. Tipperary are watching tonight, and I'm sure they are. They'll know exactly what's coming down the tracks to them in the semi-final.
And the other positive is that, you know, that so far we've had 2 minutes to go. They've only conceded 11 scores, and again, that's less than what they've done. They've conceded an average of 13 in the league. That's a mean defence. That's a mean defensive display. 11 scores in championship.
Cleary.
So they'll be very, very happy with that as well.
Edge of the square.
Ball in towards Darren O'Neill again. He got a fist to it.
It's been taken nicely on the line there, but then poor clearance.
2 minutes remaining. Clare maybe to try and grab a second goal.
To a minute and a half of additional time left.
His long, unbeaten run at championship football at Fitzgerald Stadium.
Getting in the eyes of the spectators. Here's Darragh Bohannon bursting through, and then he fist this one over the bar
for his second.
That's a good point by Darragh Bohannon.
Yeah, really good score again. Darragh Bohannon making those incisions right throughout the middle, through the middle of the Kerry defence. Done that a couple of times in the second half. Set up the goal for David Tubridy.
Too little, too late for Clare, but still.
So these are two lads, Darragh Bohannon and Darren O'Neill, who've really only come back this year and added hugely to the strength of the Clare team.
Here by Adrian Spillane. Gets it forward now to
Walsh.
Tommy Walsh.
For outside him, in it goes to Killian Spillane.
Can they work another goal?
Spillane curls his third over.
With the point, and that's 3 points for
slowly developing a reputation as an impact player, Killian Spillane. He brings so much in from the bench. I'm sure it's not a tag he'd appreciate.
Yeah, but and he's very intelligent on the ball as well. Like, he's touched the ball quite a bit since he's come in. He's lots of possessions,
and go all the way in this year's championship.
Possession he has, he uses it well. As you said earlier, they have a lot of strength and depth, and they're building that depth in the squad. Can play a number of different ways. Tommy Walsh can come in, they can play long if they need to.
He's given
but noticeably tonight now, it's just interesting to look at their forward structure, as I said a couple of times.
In 2008.
A bit like Dublin, they always keep 1 or 2 players inside the 13-metre line.
That one has been saved
just to stretch the defence, to keep the defence honest, and to create space in pockets of space inside the 45-metre line for the players to run into.
Have been played. And Bruno Bigler back to his goalkeeper.
There's a long wait for a win over Kerry. He's going to continue. An incredible victory in the Munster final all the way back in 1992, the last time they got one over on Kerry.
Bigler again.
Never beaten them.
To Adrian Spillane.
On that occasion, a draw back in 1950. Here is Tommy Walsh.
Beautiful ball to Tommy Walsh.
Clever ball in behind.
This one inside now to Paul
Kerry have a couple of men on here.
Still gaining.
Burns is one of them, and he crashes that one to the back of the net. Micheál Burns,
and he has done really
with
well.
his first championship goal.
Second half substitute, but Paul Gainey,
for probably the first time in the game, there was a lot of space in the Kerry defence, and 2 kick passes, one to Tommy Walsh, and then a second one from Tommy Walsh into Paul Gainey, who did a lovely backdoor kind of cut. He ran towards Tommy Walsh, then cut in behind, and Tommy found him with the pass, and that just opened up the defence completely, and an unselfish play.
And there is the full-time whistle.
And there is the